What's up, guys? It's TechnoViking23 coming to you today with a little bit of news. Actually, we're going to be talking a little bit more about Activision today. It's not really a Destiny video, but in a way it does kind of relate to Destiny because it does shed a little bit more light on how Activision runs its business and how they do things. If you guys were not aware, there was an announcement that came out recently that Call of Duty Black Ops 3, if you play it and you buy it on the old generation consoles, if you play it on PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, they will not be including a campaign with the game. You will not have any of the story or the full-length Call of Duty campaign that normally ships with these titles, which I think is kind of a big deal because you're really only getting the multiplayer and the zombies mode if you buy the game on the last generation console. So this is very interesting news, and Treyarch and Activision basically came out and said that they were not able to get the campaign into the old generation. It just wouldn't support it, and there's all this other stuff they were talking about and all this nonsense and BS they kept talking about. So here's the fun part. If you do decide to buy this game for the old generation on PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360, it will cost you $49.99 to just get the multiplayer. So essentially Activision is saying the multiplayer side of Call of Duty is worth almost the full price of a normal game. The game will be $60 as usual on the next gen consoles for the entire game, including what Treyarch is billing as a very immersive, interesting open world story with this Call of Duty. It's supposed to be something rather in depth that we haven't seen before with COD, so it's supposed to be pretty amazing. And you're not going to be getting that on the old generation, yet they still expect you to pay nearly full price to just get the multiplayer and some zombies. And I'm sure that's an Activision decision, because we all know how Activision's pricing structure has worked in the past with most of their games, especially on Destiny. They just charge a ridiculous amount for so little content. And I think $50 for just getting the multiplayer side of Call of Duty is quite frankly a little bit of a slap in the face. Now, I haven't played Call of Duty in a long time. I kind of fell out of love with the series. In part due to Activision's practices and also part just due to the game being the same stagnant thing over and over and over again. I've watched a lot of the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 beta stuff, and it just appears to be the exact same game that it's been basically since Modern Warfare 2. They're still using the same engine on this game, yet they're trying to bill it as a next generation title. And they were caught lying about that, I believe, by one of the gaming magazines. The guy kept asking him, he said, "Oh no, it's a new engine because we've made so many changes to it, it might as well be new." And the guy's like, "No, you're still using the exact same engine." And he was like, yeah, we are. So it's just kind of funny how Activision just makes these decisions. And the one thing I was thinking about when I read this, I wasn't really going to do a video on this until I thought of this little point, is if Activision was going to make this game and Treyarch were going to make this game, and I'm sure they knew this ahead of time, that they were only going to be making it without the campaign on the old generation. Well, number one, why did they wait so long until after a lot of the pre-orders have already come in to announce this so close to the release date, which is coming up pretty soon? Number one, that's the first point. And number two, why wouldn't they just make the game for next generation? Kind of like 343 is doing with Halo 5. Halo 5 is only going to be on Xbox One. It's not coming out for Xbox 360. Because 343 said they wanted to make a next generation experience Halo. They didn't want to be held back by any of the old generation things. So why wouldn't Activision and Treyarch do the same thing for Call of Duty Black Ops 3? And the answer is pretty obvious, because they're greedy as hell. If you think about it right now, not a lot of people have made the switch over to next generation yet. There are still a lot of people, myself included, who still play on their Xbox 360 or their PlayStation 3. Myself personally, I own Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Quite frankly, I have bought both the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, and I've hardly played them at all. The only thing I play on PlayStation 4 really is Destiny. There's just nothing else that's been out that's caught my interest, and Destiny is a very lackluster game that I really wish there were other games out that I could be enjoying. Same thing goes for Xbox One. I originally bought that to pick up Titanfall, which of course turned out to be a huge letdown. And there just have not been many games out on next gen that I've really spent a lot of time with. I continue to play my old Halo games on 360. I continue to play Mass Effect 3 and the Mass Effect series and all my other games that I have on my older generation console. So I think a lot of people are in that boat with me where they simply have not had a reason yet to pick up a next-gen console, and they're not planning on it yet. Maybe this holiday, if PlayStation 4 gets a price reduction like they're talking about, we'll see. But so instead of just making a really awesome game for next-gen, what Activision and Treyarch are deciding to do here is we're going to go ahead and try to milk as many people we can on the old generation consoles for $50 a piece. And you know, I caught a lot of flack for telling people not to buy the Taken King, and people said I shouldn't tell people not to buy things, and they should be able to make their own choices, which I do agree with. In hindsight, that was a bad thing to say, but at the same time, I almost want to say that with this for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Honestly, if you buy Call of Duty Black Ops 3 on the old generation and you pay $50 just to play the multiplayer, you are part of the problem and part of the reason that these greedy gaming companies continue to get away with this crap. And that's going to be a separate video I'm doing later on where I'm talking about how, number one, Destiny itself and Activision are setting a very bad example for other companies to follow with AAA titles, with their pricing structure and the model they're using for business here. But this news about Call of Duty Black Ops 3 just shows me that Activision is just a bunch of just greedy bastards who don't even care. They don't care about gamers whatsoever. They just want your money. They see you as a giant wallet to just continue to give them money. Charging you $50 for not even getting a full game, all you're getting is the multiplayer, is absolutely ridiculous. So I just think this is crazy. And again, if you're one of those people still on the last generation, even if you're a big Call of Duty fan, if you purchase this game and pay $50 just to play the multiplayer, that is just a very poor decision, I think, in my opinion. I just think you're just helping to contribute to this really crappy business model that Activision continues to use, because you know what, quite honestly, they get away with it. They continue to get away with it. That's one thing a point I'm going to make in my other video I'm working on is, why should they change? They have no reason to change, because people continue to buy Call of Duty. People continue to buy the Destiny expansions. People complain about Call of Duty every year. They talk about how stagnant it is, how it's such a terrible game, yet it still outsells everything. Right now, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 has more pre-orders by itself than Fallout 4, Halo 5, Star Wars Battlefront, and The Division put together. All four of those games put together on all consoles do not even have anywhere near the amount of pre-orders that Call of Duty Black Ops 3 has. So people just continue to complain and continue to bitch about Call of Duty every year, but then they go and they continue to buy it, they continue to play it, and Activision doesn't have to change their business practices. And this is just further proof of that, and further proof of how greedy they are. We can continue to expect the same crap with Destiny as they've been doing. The Taken King was not a $40 DLC. It was not worth anywhere near $40. So I think we're just going to continue to see this from Activision in the future. And honestly, guys, really you should think twice before you decide to support Activision with any more games, especially with this nonsense with Call of Duty Black Ops 3 wanting you to pay $50 just to get the multiplayer on the old generation console, and not even giving you the campaign, which I know a lot of people give crap to Call of Duty campaigns, but quite honestly, a lot of them are halfway decent, and they're about 8 to 9 hours of extra gameplay that you can get in. There have been some actually really enjoyable Call of Duty campaigns in the past, and sadly, some of them are a lot better than Destiny's story, which that's just funny. But anyways, guys, I'd be interested to hear what you guys think about this. What your opinion is on this. Like I said, I think if you buy this for Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, even if you're a big Call of Duty fan, you're buying exactly into what Activision wants you to do. You're continuing to encourage them to do this kind of just this crappy thing in the future, and it's going to keep happening as long as gamers continue to be sheep and they continue to support these companies that do this over and over again. So like I said, guys, interested to hear your comments. Please let me know what you think about this down below. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you again next time.